Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of my P-2 P-rank guide. So if you want to be full of P, just keep watching. In between this part and the last one, I decided to make a short project. It took me only a day to make, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, so if it seems interesting to you, just go check it out. Anyways, back to the part you're really here for. Shinji, crank that soldier boy.
Crank back 3 times from left to right. Soldier boy out there, why me crank it, why me crank that soldier boy, that Superman, that why me crank that soldier, 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 why soldier boy out there, why me crank it, why me crank that soldier boy, that Superman, that why me crank that soldier, 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 why soldier boy out there, why me lean that, why me rock, Superman, that why me crank that Robocar, Superman, that why me jogging on them haters, man.
So, onto the real challenge in this level. No, not this thing. But you won't get a breather between it and the final boss. You have two options of progressing this fight to the next phase: dealing enough damage to force a heal, or waiting it out until it does so normally. But before we get to that, we need to go over the attacks of the Flash Panopticon. The fight will start once you touch the ground, so you can use this to get a bit closer to the Panopticon should you wish to. At the start of the fight, the Panopticon will spawn 4 yellow orbs, or eyes, depending on how you want to call them, and a baby Maurice. If the eyes can see you, you won't be able to heal at all, so you will have a choice of killing them and regaining your ability to heal, or going all in on dodging and dealing damage. The tiny Maurice will spam its explosive charge attack for 50 damage, which you can easily avoid by being airborne, but the Maurice can also be easily dispatched with the slab revolver. The Panopticon will follow up by spawning large virtue beams, which do 30 damage each, and it can spawn them vertically or horizontally, so pay close attention when you see one spawn. The Panopticon can also spawn a black hole, which works exactly like the black hole used by the corpse of King Minos and Flash Prison, bringing you down to 1 health, and generously gifting you 99 hard damage. It's really slow and easy to avoid, so if you get hit, how did you get this far in this level? Finally, the Panopticon will launch a barrage of mortar orbs, just like the Hideous Mass, but at a much higher rate of fire. And these orbs will track you aggressively. This is the most dangerous attack the Panopticon has, as each orb does 60 damage. Now, onto the routes. Like I said, you can damage it enough, or wait it out, and waiting it out is easier, and there are 2 methods. You can rely more on rocket riding or the whiplash. If you choose to wait it out and focus on dodging, you will be missing out on style, so it helps if you throw in at least a few magnets and saws, and some projectile boosts to get some style points, especially if your style is low. To get around and avoid all of these attacks, I recommend you use rocket rides or rocket jumps together with the whiplash. If you don't kill the eye orbs, you can use them as grapple points to fly around the arena. If you just keep going in circles, the Panopticon won't be able to hit you. All you have to do is survive until the bar on the Panopticon's health drains to 0, at which point it will attempt to heal, triggering the transition to the fight with Sisyphus. In case you choose to damage the Panopticon to gain a lot of style and shorten the fight, you have 2 options. You can kill the eyes, letting you heal and play more aggressively, or you can leave them and start attacking the Panopticon about 7 to 10 seconds sooner. If you decide to kill them, the best way is to whiplash to one and try to line up another one behind it, giving you an easy double kill with the rail. You can clean up the rest with the revolver or the shotgun whiplash combo. The optimal way to deal damage to the Panopticon is to get a saw trap going, getting on top, and following up with a combo loop of shotgun swapping, whiplashing, and slamming. You might have to correct a little bit so you don't fall off. Now this is kind of hard to do, but once you get the rhythm, it's not so bad. Even if you can't do this, being on top of the Panopticon is a good place to be, unless you're being chased by a black hole. Moreover, the Panopticon will not hurt itself, so the mortar orbs will phase right through it, making them harmless unless you eat one directly. Should you get overwhelmed, it's okay to get away, as you've already gained a lot of style this way, and the fight isn't that long anyways. Besides, if you're trying to P rank and not speedrun, and if your S rank is dependent on a 15 to 20 second difference, then you got other areas you could improve in.
Okay, I have only one very important question. You got a smoke?
Got gum.
Perfect. The big cheese.
What?
Oh boy, it's the big cheese. You're finally at the end of this grueling level, but it's also arguably the hardest part of the run. The best way to do this fight is to set up and maintain a saw trap, while also maintaining a dead coin chain. But if you can do this, you're already an insane speedrunner. What are you doing watching my garbage? Anyways, for the sake of being thorough, I'll quickly go over this. If you're able to at least dead coin, you can keep juggling the coin indefinitely with the whiplash. The timing is something you'll only get by practicing, and I can't really help you too much here. Keep stacking damage onto the coin during the entire cutscene. As Sisyphus says, and die, at the end of his monologue, perform a slam jump, the slam should line up with die, punch the coin twice, and slam immediately after the second punch. Follow it up with a slab rail coin for the big finish. Congrats, you just wiped the hardest boss in Ultrakill in a second and a half. And now onto the route that the rest of us mortals will use. Unfortunately, there's not too much variation in strats I can give in this fight, so you'll just have to get good and learn his attack patterns first. Sisyphus Prime has 200 health total, 100 for the first phase and 100 for the second. During battle with him, you will notice how difficult it is to heal, not only because he is so fast, but because the healing range isn't big enough to heal you more than a sliver on most hits. This is actually why the screwdriver variant is actually a really good choice for once. Should you manage to hit it, you're going to be pretty much safe from all of his attacks, save for hard damage. Use this period of safety to place a saw trap, or set up a quick ultra shot with the slab revolver, as it will do a ridiculous amount of damage to him. The only downsides of this strategy are how easy it is to miss with the screwdriver, and not being able to use a railcoin combo. And by far the biggest downside, not being able to parry in a parry-focused fight. If you happen to parry while the screwdriver is still in Sisyphus, the screw will be sent flying in the direction of your parry. This will happen even if you miss a parry timing, and it will happen no matter where you punch the body. To more consistently land the screwdriver, you should focus on creating some distance and looking for an attack with a longer recovery animation. The only way to get good at spotting these attacks is to actually practice against him for a while. You can now do this easily in the actual arena by using a new shortcut to the boss added in the last patch. The shortcut will unlock after you reach the boss once. And some quick advice for the wise guys watching this: no, you can't just use the shortcut and win against the boss for a P rank. You still need all 59 kills. I guess you could do it backwards. I haven't tested it though yet. I said something about this being a parry-focused fight. With the last patch, parrying was changed a little. Parrying now restores all of your stamina, and you will need to use this fact to survive this fight. Remember to use double parrying whenever you can. Double parrying is when you shotgun parry an attack, and during the hit stop from the shotgun parry, parrying again with your arm. This way you'll get the damage of both the shotgun parry and the arm parry, and also sometimes a projectile boost too. But to parry, you will need to know all of Sisyphus's attacks, except for 3, will be telegraphed with a voice line, and all attacks will do 30 damage except for Destroy and This Will Hurt, which do 33 and 50 respectively. These 3 attacks are a roundhouse kick, an overhead punch, and a ground pound. All of these moves will start by Sisyphus teleporting to your location, followed by the attack. The roundhouse kick can be used against you on the ground or in the air, and will send you flying if it connects, but you can recover with a dash or a slam. This is true for every attack. Next is the overhead punch, which will send you hurtling down to the ground and can be used against you on the ground or in the air. Finally, the ground pound, where Sisyphus teleports above you, followed by slamming down to the ground, producing a shockwave, much like the V1 can. He can initiate this attack even when you're airborne, so be careful. To react to these attacks, try to listen where he lands and look where the tiny trail left behind when he teleports leads. One of the most reactable attacks, You Can't Escape, starts with Sisyphus assuming a powerful stance, before teleporting for the start of the combo. The first attack will try to predict your movement, so walk in one direction, and as soon as he teleports, slide in the opposite direction. He will follow up with a knee strike, a flying kick, and a parryable stomp. Only the first attack will predict your movement, and the rest only track your current position. The stomp creates a shockwave, so I like to jump before double parrying this attack. If you want to be safe, remember to also dash through attacks, even if you parry. The next attack, Be Gone. Sisyphus will teleport in front of you, track your location, and slam his hands together, creating a vertical shockwave. He will stop tracking you at the last moment, so you will be able to dodge this attack just by moving to the side. This attack can also be parried, but you will need to react really fast. This attack can start if you're on the ground or in the air. The next attack is Destroy, and is his only ranged attack. This attack can be only used if you're on the ground, but it will track you if you try to jump away. Sisyphus will teleport, perform a quick attack, and begin summoning an orbital laser. You can parry the short wind-up, but remember to dodge the explosion with a dash. If you can't dash to iframe it, you can use a rocket jump or a slide in the opposite direction as a last resort. The glint particles will show you where the explosion will happen, and they will try to predict your movement, so you can change directions as soon as you see them to maximize your chances of escaping, without needing to time a dash. One easy way to dodge this attack is to rocket jump as soon as he says Destroy, and slamming or dashing back towards him as soon as you hear the particles appear. And finally, his most damaging attack, his Nova. When Sisyphus says, "This will hurt," you will teleport to your location, begin charging an explosion, and after a short pause you will see a flash, indicating the parry window. If you successfully parry, you will stop this attack. Always try to parry this attack, not because it is hard to dodge, but because it's so easy to parry. Just commit completely and trust yourself. Sisyphus can also taunt you when he's recovering his stamina. Yes, Did I forget to mention, Sisyphus has a stamina system, much like Sisyphus Prime, but the details of this system are not entirely understood as of making of this video, so I might give an update in the description or the pinned comment. His recovery lasts about 3 seconds. Always use this opportunity to get in some free damage and heals, or even a guaranteed screwdriver to give yourself some breathing room after the taunt. Once you deplete his first health bar, Sisyphus will say, "Yes, that's it," and grow up a full beard and some hair. His attacks will get new combo extensions, and he will attack faster with less recovery between attacks. In some of these clips, I used major assists to lower damage and to slow him down, to show you his attacks better. I recommend doing this yourself, as it will help you understand his movements and parry timings a lot better. All of his attacks can chain into one another, working as combo extensions. These attacks can be telegraphed with a voice line or not. So for instance, after he does his "You Can't Escape" combo, after the stomp he could do an untelegraphed roundhouse kick, or a telegraphed "Be Gone" attack for instance. It's easy to get overwhelmed in his second phase, as you don't have much downtime between attacks. So the way I keep myself from getting confused is to use the parry windows as brief pauses in action. For example, if he does his "You Can't Escape" combo, I know how to dodge the first 3 attacks easily, and the 4th attack is really slow and parryable. The attack also starts roughly where his 3rd attack ended if you're close to him. In this moment, I'm anticipating the parry window in advance, and as soon as I parry, I'm trying to reorient myself and anticipating his next attack. Instead of waiting for him to stop attacking, match his aggression and use the parry windows to get some health and breathing room. The most important tip to not get confused by his attacks is to realize they're all the same attacks from his first phase, except he does 1 or 2 combo extensions before taking a short break. So, once you get good at dodging and parrying in his first phase, you will have to do the same thing 2 or 3 times in a row, instead of once in the second phase.
You listen. Life comes at you fast, just like a raging current. I don't fight it. Going against the flow just means you're swimming in place. One day you're too tired to paddle, and suddenly you drown. Whole thing was pointless, and now you're dead. The end. No, going with the flow is where it's at. And that's the deadly way to live.
You may have noticed in my clips that I rocket jump and rocket ride a lot, even though, like with Minos, it's extremely dangerous to be in the air against him. While you're airborne, he will attempt to spike you into the ground, and you can only use dashes for mobility, as you can't slide in the air. Well, his attacks may track you, but you will be moving so fast horizontally that you will move out of the way by the time he executes them. Just be careful of rocket riding if you accidentally stuck him with a magnet. You can use 2 to 3 rocket rides to collect yourself and set up a saw trap, or if you're feeling ballsy, to jump off the top of the arena and performing a 4 times ultra ricochet with a slap. Abusing coins and coin punches is great because you will hit him no matter where he is, but I also like to save my coins for the slap combo, so it's a bit of a balancing act. As you can see, this does a silly amount of damage to him, and provides a large slowdown period for you to assess the situation. His biggest strength is his speed, and any time you can take that away from him is helpful. And with this, we can finally transition into the good part, kicking his ass. During his cutscene, place a saw trap in front of him. When the fight starts, he won't attack you for about a second, he'll only walk towards you, right into your trap. Once you finish trapping, ready your marksman and prepare to skip the cutscene and railcoin him. Perform a railcoin and try to railcoin add too. If you're comfortable, do a railcoin punch combined with coin adding for even more damage. During the hit stomp, you can throw in a punch or a shotgun blast. This should almost bring him immediately into phase 2. Excellent, we skipped half of this fight, but unfortunately it is the easier half. Take care when transitioning into phase 2, as he can get combo extensions even if he transitions mid-attack. So if you parry a stomp, expecting him to stop attacking for a moment, but the parry sent him into phase 2, he will immediately keep going into his combo extensions instead. One last thing of note is that his transition voice line, "Yes, that's it," will override any other voice lines. So in the described scenario, he enters phase 2 during his stomp, says yes that's it, and performs a Be Gone attack, but the Be Gone is silent.
The kingdom of heaven. That's it! That's it! That's it! Yes! That's it! Yes! That's it!
If you find yourself low on health a lot of the time in phase 2, use the screwdriver whenever you get the opportunity. One of the easiest ways to land it is when he taunts you, or when he does "this will hurt, you can't escape" or "destroy", as he is stationary for a moment during the parry window. Just remember not to punch him while the screwdriver is still up. The screwdriver will out-heal all damage he does, but be careful of hard damage accumulation. A good way to gain some distance and damage is to rocket jump and use 2 to 3 coins while flying. Even a normal marksman will do good damage. Remember to abuse rocket riding if you're good at it, but still bad at reading his attacks. Even if you're good at reading his attacks, rocket riding will give you the safest opportunity to set up a full saw trap. Just be careful not to slam down on the magnets when coming down. If you see or hear him performing a long combo, like "you can't escape", use this moment to jump off the rocket and do a 4 times ultra ricochet with the slap. You should be safe from his downward spike for long enough to hit it. Once you're close to your saw trap, try to move around near it, especially if he does "you can't escape", as this will force him to go through your trap, giving you a lot of heals and doing a pretty good chunk of damage. In case rocket riding just isn't working for you, you can also rocket jump and initiate a coin combo. I recommend rocket jumping away before his first teleport in "you can't escape". And just after he summons the particles in Destroy. After rocket jumping, throw 2 coins, look down, throw a 3rd coin and punch it. Because he's teleporting after you and you're moving so fast, the coin punch will always line up somewhere where you initially jumped from, so it's an easy shot. This will do massive damage and give you a lot of style points. You can also throw 4 coins, but the timing and spacing is very difficult, so I wouldn't recommend it. It's much easier to throw 4 coins from the top of the arena after rocket riding. 2 coins is still really good, and if you need to rocket jump away, you should always attempt at least 2 coins, since you will pretty much always have 1 or 2 coins ready to go, so use them. One thing to note is that you will be flying so fast horizontally that your coins will hit the walls and despawn. This is why I stick to the outer ring of the arena and jump across the center. This way, if you throw coins behind you, you will have just enough time to hit them. It still takes a bit of practice though. If you are closer to the center of the arena, use 2 coins, maybe 3. If I were to rank how difficult these coin setups were to execute from easiest to hardest, I'd say rocket jump into 2 coins, then rocket ride into 4 coins, then rocket jump into 3 coins, and finally rocket jump into 4 coins. You can punch the last coin, but it isn't necessary. I just like the extra damage and style, and the slower coin makes it easier to hit the combo.
Another useful tool in your arsenal is your whiplash. Now you may be scared of getting stuck to Sisyphus, but all you need to do is cancel your whip. You can cancel it by hitting the whiplash button again or by punching. The whiplash will enable you to reposition in mid-air if you overestimate your jump or if you get launched by Sisyphus. You can also use it to dodge attacks and move within parry distance. A good rule of thumb is if you see something yellow appear in front of you, just punch with the feedbacker, you might get a parry.
Another use for the nail gun is overheat storage. First you stick Sisyphus with the magnet, you fire one saw, then swap to your nail gun, and then use your alt fire. Before the alt fire runs out, swap it back to your saw. This will let you cycle the overhit indefinitely. This is a really good source of easy damage, and it relies less on your aim and more on comboing and your positioning. The sharpshooter, or the red volver, is also surprisingly good against Sisyphus. Whenever he's stationary for a moment, shoot to the ground with your alt fire and immediately toss a coin, and you'll do a large chunk of damage to him. Following big attacks like the final stomp in You Can't Escape, you can perform a quick rail point. As I was getting some extra footage for this video, I stumbled upon a brand new method of dealing with Sisyphus. And it's my new favorite method of dealing with him. But I'll let the clip speak for itself.
I have slept. The kingdom of heaven is long since forgotten my name. You can't escape. Yes, that's it. Be destroyed. You can't escape. This will hurt.
So what's happening here is that some of Sisyphus's attacks start with him teleporting in front of you, and some of his other attacks start by him teleporting in front of where you're going. So if you keep going forward while looking forward, most of his attacks will end up in front of you. So what you need to do is parry as soon as you see yellow on your screen. If you use a shotgun, you can stack the parry and the projectile boost. Just remember to dash as well. Some of his attacks are unparryable, so you will eat a blue attack once in a while, but you get so much health and style from parrying so much that hard damage ceases to be a factor, so you can just face tank most of his attacks. In other words, the key to mastering this ultimate strategy of fighting Sisyphus is not to only match his aggression, but to surpass it. don't get discouraged. This boss fight isn't too hard for you. Just to prove it, I'm gonna show you how bad I was the first time I P-ranked it. Keep in mind I P-ranked him on day 1, which meant you couldn't parry him in the second phase, and there were no teleport trails. Good luck, and thanks for watching. Oh, I did it!
So concludes the life
You P-ranked it?
Ah, yes.
a fitting end to an existence defined by futile struggle.
Good. Congratulations.
Thanks, babe.
I'm very proud of you.
Almost choked it again.
But you didn't.